episode of Impact, let's put this on perspective. If you compare the two companies, Impact gives you a bit more. Now, they have been boring at a couple of times in the last couple of months. At least one episode or two. Well better than the WWE. Let's be honest. I'm not a fanboy of Impact. I care about wrestling. And I care about a company actually giving us something good. And we've been getting consistently good episodes from Impact compared to the WWE, where it's been sporadic and then done ridiculously stupid. And at this moment, it's kind of up in the air and exciting, but still nothing 100% great. But still exciting. I won't take anything away from WWE, particularly what's going on with Kofi Kingston. Let's not get it twisted. It's good to see they're doing something with Kofi. I know there's some that don't like this with the situation with Kofi, and you know who you are. I know who you are. You vent your ass off. No disrespect saying ass off. You vent very passionately. But I'm just putting in respect of what we get. We don't get something special that actually pulls at us. Kofi pulls at us for many reasons. In this situation, what got me personally for this episode was not the ending of the show. But let's go through the motions here. Well, not the motion. Let's go through the review. That's much better. Saying the motion seems like it's stagnant and dull. I enjoy doing these. It's hard doing it, but I enjoy it. Okay. Opening of the show. I've said this earlier. I want to see Killer Kross and Moose go into the tag division. They've done a lot in the main title scene, and they could still do things. But I think it's time to let them move away for a while to refresh themselves, because they've been there for a while now. And I want to see other people come up and do something in the main title picture. We do have a couple of people we can use. The place isn't 100% empty. And I really want to see a change. But when you see Killer Kross, you see Moose, you see Johnny in the ring together, well, at least for me, I'm going like, okay, how much more are they going to do here? Johnny's faced both these guys, and he's faced Brian Cage. Brian is the one I want to see done the most. Killer Kross and Moose, yes, they're okay, but honestly, those two need to move away before they become really boring and stagnant. They're okay at the moment, but I really want to see them move away from this. They need to move away. But I will say that at least they're trying to do something a little different, because after Moose gets mad that Killer Kross starts talking about his clothes, and Killer Kross starts saying, hey, the designer you like is a interesting one, and then he gets mad, Johnny says, look, why don't you both stop? Let's make this simple. Let's see who's the alpha bitch and the alpha male. I know you could say beta, but I'm saying alpha bitch, because that's basically what we got here. You got two guys who are at the top, who are the alphas. Which one is the bitchy alpha and which one is the alpha? Go up against one another. Whoever wins gets a title shot. That's what we got. At least until Killer Kross takes a cup of coffee and throws it in Johnny's face. Then Johnny gets pissed off, jumps into the ring, and DQs the damn match. And then he gets his ass handed to him, where then Killer Kross and Moose fist pump like they're friends again. I would have thought they would still be at odds, which I'm glad they're not, because that still means that they're going into a tag match. Then you got Brian Cage coming out saving Johnny, which I wasn't surprised about it. Now, the one thing I was happy about was when Johnny and Brian were together, and he pretty much said, look, I need help to end this. You want your shot. We're still friends, but you want a shot. I want to give it to you. These guys keep getting in my face. I need to end them. Help me. And he says, look, you keep saying you want me to help you and then you're going to give me a shot. I don't see anything. And then he says, look, take this contract. Sign it. Guaranteed clause of a match. You get a match. 100% anytime you want, that's the clause. And now we're going to get a tag match one more time. Hopefully it will end it. I know people are glad to see Killer Kross in the main title scene. I know people are glad to see Moose in the title scene. But I'm being honest here. They need to go to the tag title scene because Lucha Brothers or LAX, which we already know the ending. I'm just saying, before this happened, what I wanted was someone new for these guys to go up against. Very strong, very big, very different for their lucha styles to clash against. That's what I want for them. Something different. But maybe we'll eventually get it because of what happened at the end of the show. I will get to that in a minute. We get, what is it? Gus? No. Glenn Grissom. I mispronounced the name. I'm always bad with names. Glenn Grissom has been signed to Impact Wrestling. Now, I do not know who he is. He might be a writer. And I'm hoping that he is because I want to see more better writers on a show that will give them more creative freedom. I don't know, but we'll find out. Here's a segment that was funny as hell. The Dempsey Hit Squad versus the Rascals. Now, the thing that got me was we see Trey, we see Desmond, or Dez, and I forgot the other guy's name. I always keep forgetting this other guy's name. I don't have pictures of them. But they're all high. And then Gamma comes in saying, you guys are going up against my boys. You actually think you got a chance like this? You're not even smoking the good stuff. Here's the good stuff. And he gets whatever they call it, a hootie, I believe that's what they call it. And he lets them take a good tug on that mess. And I gotta say this, I don't smoke. I don't do no drugs, I don't drink. I'm legitimately, I'm boring compared to most people. I just don't drink or smoke or do anything. I'm a very boring person. But I can understand why people do it. And in this situation, where guys go for something really weak to something really strong, I will say they made it interesting. Now, the match itself was the best match of the night. When it comes to high flying, it was the best match of the night. Hands down, that's what you get. In the end, the Rascals win. And I do like the Rascals. But they need more. I know they're getting some time, but I'd like to see them have some in-ring segments. Let them talk in the ring. Just giving them backstage segments getting high is okay. But eventually I want to see more from them. That's just me. Let's see here. We got Eli Drake versus Eddie Edwards in a standard match where Eddie is asked to put Kenny down and wrestle. Eli did an interview. He made it very clear. He doesn't hate Eddie. He wants him to see how great he is as a regular wrestler, and every time he does what he does as a hardcore guy, he loses. And this is the thing that I love the most, Eli Drake. In Impact Wrestling, there's only a few wrestlers I think is one of the best. I'm not saying anything about the others. They're good. But one of the best is Eli Drake. If he left to go somewhere else, if he goes to AEW, I hope he keeps his name. Because the man's name is gold. It just fits. When they say, Eli Drake sucks, it actually goes along. Kind of like with Kurt Angle when he was going, you suck. It wasn't just because they were messing with him because he was a bad wrestler, because he was so damn good. And it goes with Eli Drake's persona. He thinks he's so great. He's full of himself, but he backs it up. This match was the second best match for me personally. I loved it. I really did. And I want to make this clear. The Rascals versus the Dempsey Hit Squad was the best match of the night technically when it comes to high flying. Not the best match of the night. Because it was a standard, straightforward, high-flying match. I want to make that clear. Because you're going to get confused about the ending of the show that I would explain. But this was good. Now, Tessa Blanchard tried to get a rematch. Tessa Blanchard was denied a rematch. And she made it very clear to the guy that was there. I forgot his name. Morales or something. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. If you want to leave a name below, I keep forgetting it. But she made it very clear. Because of the Gail Kim, she's getting screwed. I will get my rematch one way or another. And then we get to the match of... It hurts me. I'm sorry. I'm being honest here. It hurts me to see a new talent that comes into Impact kind of having to job out to someone established the way they did. Now, mind you, this is just my gripe. It does not mean it was bad. It's just my gripe about it, because a lot of times in many promotions, when someone new comes in and you want to make a good impression, a lot of times they get destroyed by someone so they can have a match. And in this situation, what was it? Daenerys or Denise? I can't remember her name. I'm really bad with names at first. Her name is Doom. Not Doom. Doom. And she has a kind of a nice persona. She's supposed to be like an exercise, jazzercise type of person. And she went up against Alyssa, which I think if she had just been allowed to beat her and then get destroyed afterward by Tessa, I think that would have been alright. But Tessa destroys them both in mid-match. So it was a DQ. She wasn't for either one of them. She destroyed them both. And now Doom is going to... Is it Delilah? I can't remember. Doom wants a match with Tessa. Now, the thing that gets me is this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't like seeing new talent get buried for a storyline. I just don't a lot of times. Sometimes, yes. There are points where it can work. But in this situation, I don't know if that was the wisest thing to do. I really don't want to see someone that looks like they have a potential to be something good, like a Jordynne Grace. I'm not saying that Doom is like a Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace is gold. She is a male version of Rhino that will destroy everyone. I want to see Tessa Blanchard versus Jordynne Grace. I want to see a feud between these two. That's what I want. But until that time comes, this is what we got. We're going to have Tessa Blanchard go up against Gail Kim. And hopefully Gail will do the job and put over Tessa Blanchard. Just me. We get a segment with the Demon Assassin, Father Mitchell, and the two that I just don't care that much about, even though one of them is showing so much cleavage. I'm sorry. When it comes down to it, I'm not saying that Allie isn't beautiful physically. She is. She's gorgeous. She has a bust line that men and women would love. But she's supposed to be a subservient, controlled... What would be the right word? She is controlled by Su Yung. And she's not controlled by Su Yung. She is just an angry Allie. When she's not supposed to be an angry Allie. She's supposed to be an Allie with no soul. And she's supposed to be manipulated and controlled by Su Yung. And she's not. And that's the problem when it comes to this situation. If Allie acted like she was basically under mind control. Like I've been saying for months upon months upon months. Have Allie act like an undead bridesmaid and then switch to an Allie like this and slowly give her personality of just rage and hatred, not Allie being angry. Then I would have bought it. As it stands, I don't. But seeing that now, Rosemary is going to fight for Allie to get her back. One army versus another. If Rosemary wins, she get Allie free of charge, probably with a soul back. If she loses herself because Father Mitchell wants her. That's what we're going to get. Now, hopefully that will be at the pay-per-view. I can't remember what that pay-per-view is. Supposed to be at April 4th. And it's supposed... No, not April 4th. I can't remember what it is. But hopefully by the next pay-per-view, not on Impact. Please, please. Don't put it on Impact. Put it on a pay-per-view to make it special. That's what I want. Allie fighting to get taken back by Rosemary. Because I'm sure they're going to put Allie in the match. Allie, I don't think is just going to sit at the wayside and Su Young's just going to fight. I think Allie's going to be in the match. So Allie's going up against probably Rosemary in a match with others by their sides. And in the end, Allie and Rosemary is going to be fighting for who's going to claim who. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what should happen. It should happen at a pay-per-view. The last two things to talk about. The final match of the night, LAX versus the Lucha Brothers. That is the best match of the night. As a good, hard-hitting, high-flying, and story match. What you had with the La Rascals and the Dempsey Hit Squad was a high-flying match with some physicality. This was all of that with a story, because you didn't get that with the Dempsey Hit Squad. There was no story. Just the Rascals acting loopy because they smoked a hootie or something. It was a good match. I think it was better than the last match they had. And then when it came down to it and the Lucha Brothers retained, you got LAX sticking their hands out. You know, they were being reluctant. There's no way they weren't going to be reluctant. They were angry about losing. They don't like to lose. That was understandable. They stuck their hands out. Konnan saying, stick your hands out. Don't let this get any farther. Let's not flame it. But guess who's the one that flames it? It is the Lucha Brothers who flames it. And then they proceed to get their ass handed to them and get their mask taken off. Okay. I would not expect the Lucha Brothers, both of them, Phoenix and Pentagon Jr., losing both their masks. Unfortunately, I could not get that picture. Maybe when I'm editing this, the Impact website or YouTube channel will finally have that up and I can try and grab an image of it. But when it came down to it, that was cool. The question's going to be now, what is Konnan going to do? Because that's what this is going to come down to. Konnan, how is he going to act towards the Lucha Brothers? Is he just going to be angry at them? Is he going to try and tell them, say sorry, I don't want you two fighting? Or is he going to walk away like he did last time? What I feel like, he's not going to walk away. He's going to side with LAX. And he's going to try and bury the Lucha Brothers. That's the way I feel like it's going to happen. To be honest, I don't want that. I really want him to choose between the two. I don't care if he turns heel. I don't care if he stays face. I want him to be in a position where both sides legitimately are telling him, because he doesn't want them to fight. And they're both telling, the Lucha Brothers are telling him, choose. You say you love us like we're your children. Choose against them. Come be with us. Then LAX says, you can't go with them. We're in the right. We stuck our hands out and we deserve to be respected. They didn't even give it to us. Stick with us. If they're going to make this mean something, Konnan's got to choose. Instead of just saying, they don't deserve nothing, they deserve what they get. 5150, LAX, no. No. If they do that, it just feels, for me personally, I'm sure everyone else is going to like it, but for me personally, it's going to feel empty. Because they made this something about Konnan having taken care of both of these guys and not wanting neither one of them to fight. Now, final thing that I thought in this show was the best thing, and to be honest, better than what WWE's done in a couple of weeks. And that is Rick Swann in the hospital with Sammy. This was the best thing I've seen in a while. Yes, it wasn't the most perfect thing, but it makes sense. Rick in the hospital. Sammy comes to visit him. Makes it 100% clear. This is not what I wanted. You are my family. You, when you had nothing, I was in Japan. You called me. I was there for you. You were the most talented person I've ever met inside and outside the ring. He said this, and there's no one I can think better. I am your family. Family. You should be with me. You're not living up to your potential. And that's something that's interesting, that he says he's not living up to his full potential. Of course, he's still trying to manipulate him. But the way he's manipulating him is like, if anyone's ever known people who their kids have been in sports, their father has wanted them to be in sports, even if that father was great at sports or he wasn't, he wanted his kids to be so successful at sports. He didn't care what he had to do to make them succeed, even if it meant driving them insane. The kids would do it for their parent, their father, just to please them. And that's what it kind of feels with Sam, at least for me. I could be wrong, But it feels like in that situation, and when that nurse came in and said, sorry, you're not supposed to be here. Only family's here. And he said, he is family. And Sammy puts a shirt on his chest. I thought that was a good thing. That was one of the best things they could have done. Admittedly, the one I said last week would have been better. But this makes up for it. This was a good show. You would like it. There was no, Scarlett Bordeaux was not there. And I wanted to see her. But it was okay. We got a good amount of stuff. Unfortunately, I didn't get, I saw at the very end that Taya had spoke, but I didn't watch the interview because there was something going on in my apartment. So I didn't watch all of it. I walked away from what I was watching. So I don't know what she said, but this was a good show and you'll probably enjoy it. So I hope you enjoy this, this Impact Wrestling. We're about to say Zane's View. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.